have discussed about advisor recommendations, and now we'll proceed with the monitoring section here. The first option we have here is insights, and which is now in preview state, which gives you the application insights, the resource group level insights from your resource group. So this is how it looks like. It means based on the alerts, based on the metrics that you define for your resource group and for your resources, it will give you the insights on your resource group. This is the option to choose and to list out the metrics that are defined as part of your monitoring solution. The next option we have here is alerts. By using this option, you can define various types of alerts based on the conditions that are needed for your subscription resources and on specific resource group or on some specific resources, right? When you consider alerts, by using these alerts, you can enable multiple alerts for your resources based on the conditions, based on the threshold values that are needed for your business. Let's have a quick look into these alerts. When you click on this a new alert rule, it will display you to select the resource. As of now, there are no alerts configured for this resource group. It's not only limited for a resource group, you can also define alerts for your individual resources. Let me choose a resource which I've got in this resource group, select resource, and I'll choose the subscription, and the resources that I've got on this subscription is only a backup solution, but I'll choose everything. Let's select all. When you select all, it will display you the list of resources which are available on your resource group. I've got a prod backup vault. I've got other resource groups as well, which I don't want to enable alerts for those resource groups because I don't have any resources under that resource group. So I'll choose this one, select this, and click on this done. And the next option is to provide a condition to generate a logic on what scenario that you need to get an alert. Select condition, and here if you want to get alerts on all administrative operations, let's say if someone is taking backup, or if someone has restored a backup solution, I mean when someone has restored a service out of that backup points, you can get all the activities. Whoever is doing any activity on specific resource which is a backup vault, it will give you the alerts based on your option that you choose on this logic. These are the predefined logics which we have got for recovery services vault. When you choose a virtual machine, if you have got that in your resource group, then in that case it will give you whenever, I mean for each and every resource you'll have different logics defined. When you have a virtual machine, it will give you the details. If someone is shutting down the virtual machine, if someone has started the virtual machine, if someone has added the disk to that virtual machine, then you'll see all the events and all the signals that can be triggered based on your conditions that you define. Here I'll choose all administrative operations whichever is happening on this specific vault. So here it will give you the latest data. Over the last 6 hours there is no data, and let me choose last 1 week. Let's see if there is any data on this. There is no data, but still to make you understand, I'll enable alerts. So here we have got event levels like critical, warning, informational, and error, and also verbose. Let's say if you want to get only critical alerts to your mailbox, you can choose critical. Or if you want to get only error events or error based alerts, then you can choose only this one. It means if there is an error on that specific resource, then you receive an email. If you choose all, irrespective of the event level, let it be a informational event, critical event, or any other events, by default based on your alert logic, it will give you, or it will trigger an email so that you can be notified. If required, you can take an action on that. right? So the status, let's say if we want to get emails based on the event, let's say if someone is starting virtual machine, if it is succeeded, then if you need to get an email, yes, you can enable this option. If someone is shutting down the virtual machine, or if someone is starting your virtual machine, if someone has done some changes to that particular resource, if it has got failed, then if I choose this option, only failed alerts will get triggered to your email box. If you choose all, everything will get triggered. It means whether it is failed or succeeded or started or shut down or whatever it is, right? All the events whichever is defined based on the logic, that will get triggered to your mailbox. So if you want to be specific, let's say if there are 10 users, if you want to track only one or two users, if they are doing any changes in the backend for a specific resources, you can just add only events initiated by, let's say, user 1. Yes, provide that user 1 here and then apply the condition. So I don't want to go for this one. I'll select all event levels and all status levels and click on done. Here it is. Whenever the activity log has an event with category is equal to administrative, signal name is equal to all administrative operations. So you have defined the condition, and the next option is to select a action group. So action groups are nothing but, I would say, distribution lists, or the department or the team who is responsible for this specific action or for this specific alert that is being triggered based on the condition that you have defined. Let's say I've got this solution which I've enabled is recovery services vault, which is for backup. I'll select this action group, and as of now there are no action groups. It means there are no users who are getting emails and who has got added to this action groups. I'll choose action group, and I'll choose action group name, let's say demo action group, right? And next is notifications. How do you want to get notifications? Is it through email, SMS, or push notifications, or voice based alerts? So let's make it as email, and I can provide only email based notifications, and I'll choose only email here, and will provide email ID. So once you key in your address, it will validate. And then we also have got a few more options like SMS alerts or Azure application push notifications or voice calls. So as of now, voice calls are available only for the country code 1, which means United States of America. Other than that, anyone can use this SMS carrier charges. So we have got country codes which we have defined, which are defined already by Azure. So you can see all the country codes which are supported for SMS alerts, right? For now I'll be okay with this email alerts. So generally this email will be a kind of distribution list where monitoring team who is monitoring this particular alerts, they'll be aware of these notifications, right? And they will assign it to a relevant team to take further action based on the alert that it has got triggered. So generally most of the enterprises, they look for a failed or critical or error events, where if there is any issue they can take an action. If it is informational, then it can be ignored because it is just an information saying that that status of that particular task is succeeded, right? So I'll enable OK for this one. And next is actions. So do you want to integrate this specific triggers, specific events to a different tools like automation runbook, Azure functions or logic apps, and IT service management tools like ServiceNow, Remedy, or any other tools? You can proceed with this option as well. Let's say if you select Azure logic app, it will ask you to choose and to create a existing logic app. I don't have any logic app on this subscription as of now. We will discuss about this specific option in our advanced learnings. So where I'll be covering integrations to various services using logical apps, functional apps, application integrations with various services within the Azure. So we'll discuss in our upcoming sessions. So now we have got logic app. I don't want to enable this option. I'll be deleting this one as I don't have any logic app, and even if I wanted to cover on this video, it will be too advanced as we are looking at only alert section and the resource group. So tags we have already covered in our previous video. So tags will give you more a kind of logically defined resources. When you click on tag, let's say if you define a tag value as a prod, if you click on prod, it will display all the resources which are tagged under the name prod. Likewise, you can define tag values. Likewise likewise you can define tag values based on your business needs. If you want to filter only a specific application related module resources, yes, you can go ahead and get that particular resources using this tag values, right? And the next option is to review and create. Just look for your subscription name where you're trying to deploy or create this action group, resource group, and the action group, demo action, whatever it is. So look for all the values whether it is accurate or not, and then proceed with this create. So all the options are not mandatory when you are creating action groups. Something like logical app, functional apps are optional if you want to integrate your monitoring alerts to your application events or to the resource events. Then you can probably use that logical apps. We'll see how we can integrate all the resources to your functional apps and logical apps. So now I've defined the action group, and the next option we have here is alert rule name. Let's say I'll make it as uh, backup vault protection alert rule. Description: please take an action if required. Please take an action if required. So save alert rule to resource group. Yes, I am configuring here for the resource group prod skillset org. And if you want to enable this alert rule immediately after creation, you can check this option. Or if you want to keep this alert ready and if you want to enable it later, then you can proceed with this option to uncheck. So now I'm not doing this one. Let's create an alert rule. Right, so we've got alert rule configured. When you refresh this page, okay, here it is. Activity rules take up to 5 minutes to activate. So if you want to manage your actions or if you want to manage your alerts on your resource group, click on this manage alert rules, and as of now there is nothing displayed here. I'll choose all resource groups and refresh it. It's not there, as it has got clearly mentioned that it will take up to 5 minutes to get that reflected, but it will not take 5 minutes. Let's wait for that. Yeah, here it is. When you refresh this page, you'll see the alert rule based on the condition that we have created is displaying here under this section. So this resource is a recovery services vault, and the target resource is prod backup vault, and the status of this one is enable. If you want to disable for time being, click on this alert and disable it. Right, if you have multiple alerts on a specific resource group or for a resource, let's let it be a virtual machine, application services, or Kubernetes, Dockers, whatever it is, you can see all the alerts under resource group section. And if you want to disable it for time being, or if you want to delete it permanently, you can proceed with disable option. And if you want to delete it, you can delete it by using this one. Right, so if you want to create alert rule, you have to define a condition, and before this condition you have to select a resource, and then you have to create action group. Action group is nothing but a group of team or individual who is responsible for taking an action on that specific event. right? You can define alert rule names. This will be your email subject when you receive an email, so should be very careful when you're receiving critical alerts to take an action on top of that, right? So if you want to manage action groups, so here we have got action groups. When you click on manage actions, it will display you a list of action groups that has been already created on your resource group. As of now we have got only one action group. You cannot add multiple email IDs, I would say. Let's try to add, if you want to modify existing resource group action group, you can come up and here you can proceed with your edit option. Let's see, I'll make it as one more ID. So it is taking only one email address at a time. It means you have to create multiple action groups for multiple teams. Let's say if you want to trigger this alert for IT service desk, you have to create IT service desk action group. If you want to create, or if you want to generate an alert for application team, you have to create a separate action group by mentioning application team's email ID. So that is where we have got multiple action groups, and you can add all the action groups and you can enable action groups for your specific resource, right? We have got classic alerts option, and this is where uh, when there was an option to deploy the resources using classic deployment model, this was the option. But however, it is always recommended to use activity log alerts to consider the latest version of alerting system in Azure platform. So the next option we have here is a metrics. Using metrics, you can you can have a kind of a visualization on your resource. Let's say if you are if you're let's say if you're let's say if your virtual machine is running out of space, if your virtual machine is running out of CPU utilization or out of memory, you can still see all those metrics on this metrics option. As of now we don't have any server which is there under this resource group. Will not be able to see any of the metrics relevant to virtual machine. So I'll choose all resources for time being, and I'll choose all locations. As of now there are no resources where I can get metrics for my resource group. When you have that resources available to see the metrics, and you'll be able to get everything in the form of charting system, and you can also get uh, multiple metrics based on your need. You can just get this area chart, line chart, bar charts and scatter charts, so which is crucial when you are reporting something to the enterprise level managements, or if you are presenting something to showcase the metrics which are consuming for a specific resource group. This dashboard will give you more granular experience for your resources. As of now there are nothing on this. If you want to track, you have to get resources deployed on the resource group and then proceed with your configurations or filter your configurations. So we have got diagnostic settings. This will give you the logs which are relevant to this resource. As of now we have got only one resource under this resource group, so that is coming up here. The diagnostic status is enabled. When you enable, diagnostic status is disabled now. When you enable these diagnostics logs, it will give you more granular information about this recovery services world. For each and every resource, it has got different diagnostics logs. So when you consider here for backup one, it has got Azure backup, report backup, Azure core, Azure backup, Azure site recovery, jobs, events. If you want to integrate and if you want to store all of these details into a storage account, or if you want to integrate this one to event hub or log analytics workspace, you need to enable diagnostic settings. For now I'm not enabling where it needs storage account, log analytics workspace or event hub. I don't have anything ready at the moment to cover you on this topic. So let me explain you one more time. Diagnostic settings will give more granular information about your resources which are needed for the businesses to track and to investigate if there are any issues deeply by using this diagnostics logs. Right, so diagnostics logs are different for each and every resource, and for the backup vault you can see these are the different logs, different diagnostics logs or reports that you can fetch by using this setting. I'm not enabling this option now. Let's go to log section. When you enable log analytics workspace, all the logs which you have defined under this diagnostic settings and all the metrics which you have captured using this metrics can be integrated into log analytics workspace. As I mentioned earlier, I'll be covering this one in log analytics session. Likewise, here under cost management we have got advisor recommendations. We also have an option to get advisor recommendations even for monitoring. When you click on advisor recommendations, it will give you high availability recommendations, cost management, performance management, and security recommendations. If your resources are already meeting the required standards, meeting the required recommendations, it will not give you any hint here. As of now, on this recovery services vault resource group, it is showing as you are following all of our recommendations for the selected subscriptions and resources. Right, we have got workbooks option where you can deploy or to choose a template from the existing report by using this workbook. That can be done easily. So Azure workbooks are a kind of a flexible options to fetch the data to see the visual reports within the Azure portal, and it will allow you to get multiple resources from Azure and combine them into unified interactive experiences. So as of now, if I go for virtual machines, I don't have any resources available under this section. So this will allow you to edit as well, where you can edit virtual machine metrics as well. Let's say CPU utilization, disk space, free disk space, memory utilization. So you can all get you can get all the reports from this workbook section. For now there is no data, we don't have any option, we don't have any setting, we don't have any recommendation to get it from Azure workbook and also from Azure recommendations. Right, the next option we have here is support and troubleshooting, and the options which we have covered here under the resource group properties will be there for almost all the resources, and there will be additional resources and additional properties as well. Based on that, uh, we have to proceed further. When you consider support request, we have got different types of support models when you consider Azure platform. Right, so for Microsoft Azure subscription and its resources, we have got various plans like basic plan, developer plan, standard support, and professional direct support. Each and every plan has got some charges. However, the basic plan is available for almost all the subscription and for all the customers, and it is included by default. And when you consider developer edition, it has got $29 per month, and then standard edition it is $100 per month, and then $1,000 per month for professional direct. So you can see that scope of a specific support. The basic support is available only for the basic support is available for all Azure customers, and developer is available for trial and non-production environments, and vice versa. And likewise we have got standard and professional direct. And you can see Billing and subscription management support is available for all the subscription, and 24/7 self-help resources are available for all the subscriptions. If you want to get a professional direct, here you can see these are the additional SLAs that you will get based on your support model. If you want to get third-party support, I mean third-party software support with interoperability and configuration guidance and troubleshooting, you have to get at least a standard subscription support, or developer support, or professional direct support, right? And developer support is available only during business hours and also only by email support only. However, standard and professional direct has got 24/7 support, and also email and phone support is also available. When you see the support severity response times, the critical business system, if you have got any impact, the response time is within 1 hour. However, in professional direct it is also in 1 hour. Moderate business impact services will be responded within 2 hours in professional direct support, but in standard plan you have got 4 hours. In the business impact severity C, here you will get a response within 4 hours, but here you'll get in 8 hours. So you have to choose the right support plan that is needed for your subscription. If you have got enterprise agreements, the support model by default you'll get with as a kind of enterprise level support, where you'll have all the features which are there under professional direct, right? You can see operations support, training, and proactive guidance all will be covered under professional direct plan. And from the subscription, if you want to raise any of the support requests, let's say if you are seeing an issue with respect to your subscription billing, or if there is any service and subscription limits quotas which are required for your solution, for your resources, then probably you can go with this support. If you are seeing any issues with access to your subscriptions and offers, instance management, and security and compliance, you can proceed with your subscription management option. And for technical issues which are related to your Azure resources, you can submit a request by using this option. So you have to get support plan and what kind of service that you're looking for. So I'm looking for, let's say I'll go ahead and look for container instances. I'm seeing an issue with this, and provide the summary. What summary is that issue in creation of container, and then problem type. It will display you the sub problem, so I'll choose this configuration and setup, and the subtype is unable to deploy uh, Linux ACI, Azure Container Instances. So next one is solutions. Before we go for a ticket, it will also recommend some sort of a predefined links where you can choose this support links. If you are able to troubleshoot and resolve your issue, then you can directly resolve by using these links. If not, if you have tried already all these links, then go to support, provide your technical support. However, you need to purchase a plan to get technical support, right? For now I don't have any technical support. That's where it is showing that you can't create request for technical support. I need to upgrade to paid support plan to get technical support from this subscription, right? Which is very crucial, and you should know what kind of issue that you are seeing. If it is something related to billing, then you can proceed with your billing issue, right? However, in billing, again, there are predefined billing sections. Let's say monthly bill. I'm just giving that as an example. So it will display you the list of problems like pricing, assistance with bill or usage, a refund request. All this will be covered under this option, right? Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe and share.